Mary Henderson stood at her kitchen window, watching the morning sun paint golden streaks across her small backyard garden. At 42, she had spent the last 20 years raising 3 children and caring for her late husband during his long illness. 6 months had passed since his death, and the house still felt painfully quiet. On the kitchen counter lay a wrinkled letter, the acceptance letter from Riverside Community College. Mathematics and Science Foundation program. Her children thought she had lost her mind. "Mom, you barely finished high school," her oldest daughter, Sarah, had said. "College is for young people. Why put yourself through that stress?" But Mary remembered something they didn't. She had always been good with numbers. In high school, before she dropped out to start a family, teachers used to marvel at how she solved math problems in her head faster than anyone else. For 15 years she worked as a grocery cashier, where customers joked, "You should have been an accountant." Mary always laughed politely, but inside she wondered, what if? With her modest savings and a little support from her husband's life insurance, she finally decided to try, just once, to chase the dream she buried decades ago. That first morning of college, she dressed simply: jeans, a beige sweater, comfortable shoes. She whispered to her reflection, "You can do this. You're not too old. You're not too late." She drove to campus in her 15-year-old sedan. Around her, students with designer backpacks and expensive laptops walked confidently toward their classrooms. Mary felt small, almost invisible. Inside the halls, she overheard whispers. "Did you see that older lady in English? What's she doing here? Shouldn't she be taking care of grandkids? Maybe it's a midlife crisis." The words stung, but Mary kept going. English class went smoothly. Biology went even better. But the real test was advanced mathematical concepts, taught by Professor David Richardson, a brilliant mathematician known for being demanding. The class was filled with high achievers. Jennifer, a top engineering student. Mark, who studied at a prestigious university. Ashley, whose father was a well-known mathematician. Mary introduced herself quietly. "I'm here because I love numbers." A few students smirked. One whispered, "She probably means basic math." Another added, "Ah, that's cute." But Mary ignored them, took notes, and worked harder than she ever had. The impossible problem. 3 weeks into the semester, Professor Richardson walked in with unusual excitement. "Today," he said, "I'm giving you a problem that even the best mathematicians haven't solved." It was presented at the National Mathematics Conference last month. He filled the board with a massive, complex equation, variables looping through nested functions, patterns that seemed chaotic, impossible. Students leaned forward, fascinated. Jennifer asked if it related to chaos theory. Mark suggested complex analysis. Ashley proposed breaking it down with computational software. "No," Richardson said. "None of those methods work." He began to erase the board when something clicked in Mary's mind. Where others saw chaos, she saw patterns. Where others saw confusion, she saw flow. The equation spoke to her like a familiar language. Her hand rose before she could stop herself. "Professor, I think I can solve it." The class froze. Someone laughed. Someone whispered, "Oh please." Richardson looked skeptical but polite. "Well, come to the board." Mary walked up slowly. Her heart pounded. Her classmates' ridicule burned behind her. But when she picked up the chalk, the fear faded. She saw it clearly. "This isn't as complicated as it looks," she said softly. Mark scoffed. Jennifer rolled her eyes. But Mary's hand began to move, fast. Step 1, a hidden symmetry. Step 2, 3 variables eliminated at once. Step 3, nested functions collapsing into elegant simplicity. Richardson stepped forward, stunned. "What did you just do?" Mary kept writing. 17 seconds later, she put the chalk down. The room was dead silent. The solution was complete. Perfect. Impossible, yet undeniable. Richardson checked the work. Once, twice, 3 times. Each check came back correct. "Mary," he whispered, voice trembling, "this is genius. Absolute genius." Students stared at the board in disbelief. Jennifer's jaw dropped. Mark leaned forward, confused and humbled. Ashley flushed with shame. Richardson turned to Mary. "Where did you learn to think like this?" "I didn't learn it," Mary said quietly. "Numbers just make sense to me. They feel like music. Everything changes." By the next day, the entire college knew. Professors came to see the board. The head of the math department invited Mary to present at a regional conference. Richardson changed his entire teaching approach, encouraging intuition, creativity, and pattern-based thinking. And her classmates. Jennifer apologized and asked to sit beside her. Mark admitted he'd misunderstood what intelligence really meant. Even Ashley acknowledged her father was wrong. Mathematical brilliance isn't inherited. It comes from passion, curiosity, and dedication. Mary finished the program summa cum laude and won a full scholarship to a state university. Her research paper on intuitive problem solving was later published and cited by mathematicians across the country. Years later, Jennifer became a successful engineer and credited Mary for reshaping her views on learning. Mark became a teacher who focused on intuitive math education. Ashley worked to make STEM fields more inclusive. And Mary, she kept solving problems others thought were impossible. Closing message. Mary's story is a reminder. Genius has no age, no social class, no dress code, no preferred background. Sometimes the greatest minds are hidden in the most ordinary lives. If Mary's journey inspired you, hit the subscribe button, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. And tell us in the comments. Has someone ever surprised you with their hidden talent? Because extraordinary gifts often come wrapped in ordinary packages.